right, I'd say let's get underway. Let's get started. So first of all, welcome everyone. Thank you very much for joining, and thank you very much for joining our last webinar of 2020. Very excited to be here with Mark and Ian from Snom. And today we're going to talk about auto provisioning and how we taken a slightly different approach now with auto provisioning. Auto provisioning obviously has been around for a while, but we want to talk about how we've changed the delivery mechanism and obviously how what role Snom as an official app partner now has played in this. So very excited for Mark and Ian to join me today. And so let's take a look at our agenda. So I first want to introduce to you a little bit of a background of why we're meeting today, what we're going to talk about, and then tell you exactly what we've actually changed about the auto provisioning, what's different and how it benefits you. And then I'll let Mark and Ian share with you what's different about their devices, what's unique, and how it benefits you as a CSP. And then at the end, we'll actually do a small portion of a demo. So we'll show you exactly what we've actually been working on, and we'll have a Q&A section as always at the very end. So first of all, at PortaOne, our goal has always been and always is to give you as our customers, as our CSPs, the tools that you need to address the demand that you see in the market. So we want you to help compete and enable to succeed in the market. So as I mentioned before, auto provisioning, of course, is not new. It's been around for a long time, but it is one of the main things that enables scaling. So it's obviously a way to automate the provisioning of phones. And for that, it is very important for you to grow your customer base. The way we've done it so far, though, in PortaSwitch hasn't really been working well. So that's something we have to openly admit. We do have a number of devices on the platform. So here's sort of what the approach has been. And for those of you who have worked with us for a number of years, you're obviously quite familiar with this. So I believe the idea was actually very good. The idea was that we wanted to focus efforts on the actual devices customers need and want. So we would ask you as a CSP to let us know which devices you want to work with. And we would then, for a professional services fee, we would have the devices shipped to our lab in the Ukraine. We would do the interop, we would do the testing and everything. The problem is, it doesn't really work well with bring your own device because CSPs are hesitant to pay for something if you don't know how many customers will actually use those devices. And in reality, we always faced a lot of issues with customs and deliveries for sending phones to our lab in the Ukraine, for instance, if we're not able to purchase them there. So the whole approach has not really has not been working well. So we've changed things around. We want to support bring your own device for our CSP partners, and I'm very excited to work with Snom, and I'm very impressed with Mark and Ian's team. It was very pleasant to work with them, and definitely very much looking forward having their phones officially supported on our platform. And I truly hope you'll be able to try them out and see if it works for you as well. So let me cover the first thing that we changed. We changed the delivery mechanism for auto provisioning apps. So far, auto provisioning was a core part of our platform, and in order to take advantage of new devices, you would have to do an upgrade, which is oftentimes not a very good way of doing it, because it actually also lengthens the whole process. If we ask you to actually upgrade your core platform, you may have to wait up to 6 months until you get the new provisioning profiles that you need. But also, our partners like Snom, you develop phones and new models all the time. So we want to just reduce this time that it takes for you to take new devices to market. So what we've done is we're now enabling third parties such as Snom to deliver apps themselves on our marketplace. And we feel this gives us really a win-win-win for everyone. So how does that work? So the CSP, you get the devices that you want as soon as they're released, essentially. Snom, as our provisioning app partner, you can ensure that your devices are supported on the platform of choice for customers. So you can make sure that all of the Snom devices are available in PortaSwitch. And us as PortaOne, we see it as a good win for us as well, because we can ensure that the largest possible number of IP phones are supported on the platform. So again, it's all about customer choice and making sure that the devices that you feel help you succeed are supported on the platform. And we feel Snom is a very good candidate for that. So with the marketplace, what is different here is that PortaOne will no longer develop the actual application that provisions the phone, but Snom does. And we've done this already, and it's working very well. You as the CSP will activate the auto provisioning app of the phone that you wish to use yourself via self-care. So the whole process is fully automated. And PortaOne will host that in our cloud environment as an app. So quite a few of you might have seen this picture, this diagram here already, but I do feel it's quite helpful to visualize the concept of what we're talking about. And this, in essence, gives you devices very quickly, and it ensures that you can do so without actually having to go through an upgrade. So this is a huge benefit to you as a CSP. So I talked a little bit about bring your own device. It came up when we were planning this session with one of my customers from South Africa mentioned this and brought it up, and I thought about it a bit more. So I wanted to bring up this question here and bring it to you. So I'm going to launch the live poll, and I would very much appreciate if you were able to participate here. As I'm curious, what role does bring your own device play in your services and products that you're offering? Do you force customers to use a specific device from a list of devices that you determine, or do you allow end customers to bring their own device and only sign up for your service? So if you see the poll pop up, very much appreciate if you could answer that. So we have 4 options here. Okay, so we got a couple answers coming in. Thank you very much for answering there. And maybe also to explain, when I spoke to one of our customers, as I mentioned, they felt that auto provisioning support for these devices was essential to even consider bring your own device, because obviously if you allow customers to select on their own which devices they want to use, you want to make sure that at least the provisioning is done automatically. Otherwise, it would just simply not be cost efficient. Okay, so we got some good answers here coming in. Thank you so much for participating. I'll end the poll here, and we'll move forward in our session here. So I would now like to ask and introduce to you Mark and Ian from Snom. And Mark and Ian, if you could briefly introduce yourselves, that would be fantastic.
Sure. Yeah, thanks. Warm welcome from my side as well to everyone to this very late webinar in the year. Thank you, Klaus, for your warm welcome and the introduction to our partnership. I'm personally really excited about it. I can still remember when we talked for the first time many years ago. This was still when you were doing auto provisioning the old way, let's say, and yeah, it was a little bit complicated. No one had really time to work on it. So when we got into contact this year and you presented to me what you have done with IPA as a service, I was really excited, I have to say, and you could tell. No, we immediately jumped on this, and we had our developers working on it together with yours, and I think it has been so far a really fruitful partnership, and we've achieved a lot in a very short period of time. And I'm really looking forward to getting to this into the market earlier next year, and offering this to all our joint partners and customers. I think you go into the right direction. We see these challenges with all the other partners, PBX vendors, platform vendors we work with. It's always a matter of having different release cycles that never match each other, and then we would bring out a new interesting device, and it just takes too long to integrate it, and then all the customers would be forced to update their whole platform, which no one really likes to do, and it's just a hassle. And so I think what you're doing is absolutely the right direction, and you can tell because other people are doing it as well or starting to do it as well. So excited to be here in the webinar. I will let Ian also introduce himself, and then we can give the people an introduction to Snom.
Yeah, thanks. So my name is Ian Mitchell, and I'm one of the product managers here at Snom. I'm based out in our Oregon offices, as we do have offices basically kind of all throughout the world. And I'm also very excited to share with you the products that we have. We've been adding some new products, and I think we have a really good selection now across both desk sets, conference phones, and DECT devices.
Cool. Thanks, Ian. So let me see if I can.
Might have to click in. Try it again.
Yeah, I clicked.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, a brief introduction to who is Snom and what we do. We see it right here. We do VoIP. So we are in the marketplace over 20 years, founded in Berlin. Fairly small company, had a big growth, especially at the beginning. We stand for exceptional audio quality and quality hardware-wise and software-wise throughout all our products. What we do, and me personally, as I work in that team, we do interoperability with most of the leading PBX systems in the world, and now also with PortaOne, which I'm really happy about. I personally sit normally in Berlin in our headquarters, and so we have the whole development partially in Berlin, in-house. Also, Ian and his team over in the US and Vancouver, they do part of the hardware development and software development. So we have by now we have a global team working on hardware and software development, and of course sales and marketing. We have more than 7 million endpoints out there, somewhere out there, and what we can count on is actually really a very strong reseller partner base, very loyal reseller partner base, over 4,000 worldwide deploying our phones. As I mentioned, Snom fairly small company. We got acquired by VTech November 2016. And ever since, we have been building up these multinational, multi-continental teams working to support our customers even better than we did before. Okay. There seems to be a small delay in when I click my mouse. Yeah. Okay. So don't fear. I will not walk you through our whole portfolio because it's quite large what we have to offer. But really, I want to talk to you about more what Snom stands for, no? Because out there in the market is a very competitive market, and in the end, everyone builds a phone somehow. But what we really focus our efforts to is the engineering part, the audio quality and security. That's where we consider us to have competitive advantages. So since years and years, we have one of the lowest RMA rates with our products. It's below 1%, and so this gives you a really good reliability into our products. And I know this is very important for the customers because every outage of a device, let it be a hardware failure or software failure, causes problems and costs money because you have to ship a new phone there. You need to deploy the phone, install the phone, and this is just off time for the customer, for the worker, where you cannot be productive. So we take this really seriously. We do all the research and product design in mostly in Berlin for at least a part of our portfolio. And we are so confident with our quality that we offer a 3 years warranty for all Snom products. Yeah, talking about audio quality. So in Berlin, we have our own audio laboratory since many years. So we do all the audio fine tuning ourselves. We do this with the ETSI standard. We will see in the next slide. So we all know, since we are all sitting now in a home office and we are communicating mostly remote with our colleagues, with our customers, being in a conversation, having poor audio quality can be really disrupting and annoying, and just decreases productivity tremendously. So we work very hard on offering the best audio quality in the class. And as I said, we have our own audio lab, and we do testing and fine tuning, of course, of our own phones, but we also do some benchmarking, and we test what the others have to offer. And we can clearly say we are among the best in the market. Yeah. Okay. Another, we can call it service, or you could also call it product we have to offer is our hosted redirection and provisioning service called SRAPs. With this tool, well, it allows service providers to easily deploy phones without touching it. So a zero-touch deployment, where you can either redirect the phone to an external provisioning server, or you can even build up the whole provisioning on SRAPs itself. It has an easy-to-use web user interface. It has a powerful REST API where you can connect your servers and services into it and integrate the whole deployment process with maybe your ERP system and have it all streamlined throughout the whole chain. And yeah, as we take also security very seriously, being a German company, having probably one of the strictest data security and data protection laws in the world. So we host this whole service in a data center in Germany, and this gives a fair amount of customers peace of mind, so they know where the data is stored. If you're interested into the service, the domain is sraps.snom.com, and you can just simply sign up if you haven't done it yet for a free account. Okay, with this, I give over to Ian to tell us a bit about the portfolio we have to offer.
Yeah, so Snom does have offer a very large portfolio of products. We do have, both desk sets, actually multiple series of desk sets. We have a lot of kind of legacy devices, and we have multiple concurrent series running at the same time. And most of them are still supported now. You can get all of our, firmware and user guides and FAQs. We actually have a really great wiki for it called service.snom.com that'll give you a ton of information for that. And we also have support for DECT devices, actually, again, multiple series in the DECT space. So if you need that cordless mobility, either for a small environment or even support for multi-cell for much larger ones, we offer that. Along with conference phones. And then, of course, we have a wide range of accessories for the desk sets in order to, give you headset capability, or if you need Wi-Fi or anything like that. And we also have a PA system, or a broadcasting device that basically bridges the gap between SIP, if you need to hook up something like a speaker, to make announcements, whether you're in like a gym or a warehouse or something like that, or you can use it to help bridge the gap for like a door entry device or something. But I think for now we're going to kind of focus on our desk sets. This is one of our newer lines of desk sets, and we wanted to create a series that was going to basically take you from kind of the low end basic level phone all the way up to the high end, and have some really good consistency built in there. So we can see with the D717, even though that's more of a low end entry type device, we still have a color display on it. We still have 3 programmable function keys beside the display. And we also have gigabit Ethernet all throughout this whole series. And we also include a USB port on all these phones that opens up more capabilities with our accessories. So even if you need to have a Wi-Fi phone on a lower end phone, you can actually get our very low cost Wi-Fi dongle, or even some third-party dongles that are actually supported on the phone, and get the capability all the way down at that entry-level device. And then if we jump up to the 735, we basically go from a 3-button phone to an 8-button phone. And what we've also done here with that color display is, because it is a little bit smaller, but we actually have a proximity sensor on it. So we can actually dynamically bring the labels onto the phone or pull them away, depending on, if you're reaching for the phone or something like that. So if you want to more cater towards a bigger view for your caller information, you can just hide those labels away until you're actually reaching for the phone to bring them out. So it's a really good option to, have the smaller space, but also have a really good readability. And then as we go up to the D785, again, still have gigabit, still have USB. We've now also put in an integrated Bluetooth, so you can pair your favorite Bluetooth headsets to the phone. And then we've also taken the programmable buttons and moved them onto a second display to basically allow you to keep focus on the call information itself that you're on, in case you're in the middle of a transfer or something like that, or you need to go look through the directory. But you still have, you always have access basically to those programmable feature keys that you might have programmed for BLFs or specific functions, turning on D&D or whatever. So.
Perfect. Thanks, Ian. Then a few words about our DECT series. So DECT is a strong portion in our portfolio. It's growing. At least what we can see is in the EMEA region, it's strongly growing. The demand for wireless phones based on DECT technology. Both single cell but also multi-cell. We have a strong growth in multi-cell installations. I just put one handset up here, which kind of fits into this sad time, actually. So it's an antibacterial handset, especially for hospitality, doctors' offices. Everywhere we need to have a a clean environment. So it has a special coating which you can disinfect with alcohol, and it will not damage the plastic or take off the color or the printing on the keys. It's a ruggedized design, so no worries if it drops to the floor a couple of times a day. It has integrated Bluetooth with it if you want to connect a headset to it and want to have it hands-free. And yeah, it's an antibacterial housing, which is really, really important. And this, of course, is now at the moment, sadly, but it's a really interesting device. If we have a quick look without going into all the details, so as you can see, we have a large variety of different handsets we can offer for workplace mobility, and yeah, they all can be connected to either a single cell DECT base station or a multi-cell DECT base station. And if we talk about multi-cell installations, we can scale really high, up to 254 base stations and up to 1,000 handsets. So yeah, typical installations for these kind of products are universities, large hospitals with many different buildings on a site that you can just then connect with the base stations, with the multi-cell base stations, and enable like seamless handover and roaming for the people who have to walk from one house to another. So this is really a great solution for that. Okay, a few words about the conference phone, Ian.
Yeah, so part of our portfolio again is conference phones, and so we have this conference phone, the C520, and one of the unique things about this is we actually have our DECT technology built into the conference phone, and this actually allows two different things. The first one, as we can see with the conference phone, we actually have wireless microphones integrated into the conference phone itself. So we have the good omnidirectional microphone that's in the base itself, but at the same time, if you do need to spread your speakers out a little bit, you can actually take those wireless mics that are battery operated and just put them, at either end of a table to basically increase the mic pickup range. Maybe get clarity for somebody that might be presenting up at a whiteboard or something like that. And then in addition to the wireless mics, we also have an expansion speaker. So the C52 also is using DECT technology, also has a built-in battery, and you can actually pair up to 3 of these to every C520. So if you need to increase not only the people that are speaking, but also what you're hearing. So you're feeling a much larger room, maybe it's like a training room or something like that, or even like a classroom or something like that. You can attach those speakers and spread them out all wirelessly, so you don't have to worry about running power or some type of proprietary daisy chain between the conference phones or anything like that. All work seamlessly. And the other nice thing about the C52 is we actually have a DECT dongle accessory for our desk phones, and you can actually pair one of these speakers to that dongle and use that expansion speaker even on a desk set. So if you do have kind of like an executive office environment where you've got your phone by your desk, but maybe you have like one of the little huddle tables kind of in the corner of your office, you can have that C52 off to the side, and actually when you pull people into a meeting, you can just immediately transfer the audio over to that speakerphone, so you can use a better kind of speakerphone environment for those kind of meetings. So
great, thanks. Yeah, a couple of headsets. So this is an interesting headset. It's a DECT headset for our DECT multi-cell solution. So what you can do with the A190 is you can assign it to an existing extension on the DECT multi-cell, and then you can accept calls and make calls with this headset, or you can have it also in parallel to your handset device. And then, of course, you have the whole benefit of roaming, walking around different offices or houses. So it gives you the highest flexibility to be reachable on a DECT multi-cell system with a DECT with a headset. Very interesting. Then we have
Yeah, so for the these other headsets, I'm going to talk about them. The
Cool.
A170 is a full-fledged actual dual connection headset. So it's convertible style, so it does have the 3 wearing styles. You've got the over the head, the behind the neck, and over the ear. And the nice thing about this is it does offer both a USB connection, which can be used on a PC, but then we also have full EHS functionality integrated into our Snom phones. So you can have it connected to both your phone and your PC, and you can actually, you know, just easily switch between those 2 devices just at the press of a button. And then we also include a hot swappable spare battery in the back compartment. So it essentially gives you unlimited talk time, because you can basically just pull the battery out that's always charging and then swap it in with the headset and continue your conversations. And if we go to the next one, so we also offer a purely accessory headset, a nice, small, lightweight one that is just kind of the over-the-ear style that can connect, again, directly with our desk phones over the included USB DECT dongle.
Perfect. Then we would like to talk at the end of our slides a little bit about the partner engagement programs we run, both in the Americas, and Ian will talk about this, and also in EMEA, which I will cover briefly. So we invite reseller partners to participate in our partner program, and everyone can apply for access. It's a partner.snom.com, where you can register yourself and then become a registered partner. And depending on your certification level, you can jump up to silver partner and even gold partners. And of course, each partner status gives you different benefits. What all partners get when they sign up to this partner program is a free phone, a free Snom phone to try it out, and it will be shipped anywhere in the world, anywhere where you sit, and that gives you the possibility to start playing around with the phone, getting used to it, see the capabilities connected to PortaOne platform, for example. And so I encourage everyone to have a look at our partner program. Again, silver partner and gold partners, they get dedicated partner support from us. They get help with marketing. And we also have, in EMEA, we have a kickback program where people get money kickback for each device they purchase. So a very interesting program. And another thing for EMEA is what we call Snom as a service. Basically, it's hardware as a service. So instead of having a large capex in buying all phones upfront and investing a lot of money, we offer a rental model where you pay on a monthly basis. You pay for the rented hardware. And well, this gives the customer several benefits. Well, first of all, it's OPEX rather CAPEX. Secondly, it increases, depending on the contract you have, it increases the duration of the warranty for the time of the contract. So as I mentioned earlier on, we offer 3 years warranty. If you run Snom as a service with a 5-year time frame, you would get a complete warranty for all 5 years. Yeah. And so this is a really good tool for service providers to make the overall solution they have to offer even more attractive, because you don't have this upfront investment for a desk phone, for example. Okay, Ian.
Yeah, just talking about the programs that we have here in the Americas. So we do have basically coverage in you know, North America, so Canada, in the US, and then also down into South America as well. And we do have part of the partner program is we do have a MAP policy that we do enforce to basically protect the margins for the dealers, installers, and stuff like that. And you know, of course, we do have MDF fund sharing, and we do have an NFR program as well. So if you do get a free phone, you can also use that NFR to basically purchase a lower cost sampler of any of the other phones that we have, whether it's a conference phone or DECT phone, or just one of the other assets and stuff like that. And you can get all that information at snomamericas.com. that has all the information. Also, we're running a really good trade-in rebate program right now. So basically, you can, if you're replacing an existing business phone, you actually get a pretty large rebate back, and just has a minimum of 5 phones in order to get into the program, and then a maximum of up to 200 phones. And this is valid on all of our phones. And again, you can get more information at info.snomrewards.com or from snomamericas.com. And we just wanted to kind of show that with that, global initiative, we do have a full team in the Americas. As Mark had mentioned, we actually have some of our product management and software development actually up in our Vancouver, BC office. We have a full sales team all throughout Canada and the US. And then we also have full-fledged warehouses within the US down in San Antonio, and then we also have another warehouse up in Canada. So, being that we actually have our own manufacturing now and we have our own warehousing, we can kind of guarantee that we have product always available for you. And then on top of that, we do have dedicated support, of course, worldwide. One of the other things that we have in the US is we actually have live telephone support as well. So,
perfect.
Excellent. Well,
good. With this, I will give it back to Klaus.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ian and Mark. Very interesting. And thanks for sharing some details about your product line, and I think how you are able to set yourself apart from some other phone manufacturers that are out there as well. One portion that I just wanted to touch on about what you mentioned about your SRAPS portal. So some of you might be wondering how that relates to the auto provisioning that PortaOne does on our platform. So PortaOne, we are obviously very much aware that Snom and some other manufacturers also have their own auto provisioning solutions available, and that's perfectly fine. It actually very well complements the way we feel what works for you. So the way we see it, and just to kind of describe that a little bit, is you can get a very basic auto provisioning done on our platform. It provisions the phone, it gets the device up and running, and the end customer can start calling and use it right away, as you're used to, obviously, with auto provisioning. With Snom's SRAPS portal, you're then also to do a bit more advanced remote management of the devices. So it's very much complementary. It doesn't replace the need. So we feel there's a very good place for obviously both solutions. And at this stage, we support obviously the regular auto provisioning for Snom phones on our platform, as explained. And we are looking to improve the experience for those of you who are interested in Snom's SRAPS portal and integrate maybe those two also a bit more tightly. So now we've talked a little bit about this, and but let's actually take a look what this would mean for a CSP and how the iPaaS marketplace plays a role here. So I'm going to switch over to our demo platform and log on. So you should be seeing my screen here. So if I go to infrastructure, so this is now assuming that you're currently maybe using other devices, but you're interested in some Snom devices. So here's what this workflow and this process might look like. So just to verify here, if I go to my inventory and I go to my phone profile inventory, I currently could not create any Snom auto provisioning profiles. So the profiles are simply not available at this stage. So now what you would do is, as of early next year, so sort of mid and January next year, we will have our self-care and fully automated provisioning for iPaaS apps available. So you would now go to the iPaaS marketplace and essentially activate and subscribe to the Snom iPaaS apps. And again, These iPaaS apps are in the background. Those are Docker containers managed by our cloud infrastructure, and those are apps that Snom team has contributed to our marketplace. So we're obviously doing a bit of a simulation here at this stage because we don't have the self-management of the apps available yet. It's in the early stages, but we'll finish it in a few weeks' time. So we're going to do a bit of a simulation, but one of my colleagues will now simulate this and basically subscribe our demo platform to the Snom devices and to the iPaaS apps. So all I have to do now at this stage is, again, no upgrade obviously necessary. I'll just have to refresh the screen, and I should now hopefully see all my Snom devices here. So I'll select one of the phones, and obviously for those of you that are PortaOne customers, this is obviously very familiar to you. So you'll now be able to save this profile and obviously configure as you would normally do all the features and everything that you would normally do from a Snom web interface. Okay, so this is very similar to the regular process of auto provisioning. So as far as demo goes, I hope that at least kind of illustrated this, how easy it is to activate new apps for new phones that you'd like to onboard to your customers. And again, the whole process working with Snom, Mark, I know it's been a new process for you as well. I know other vendors do it slightly differently, and for us as PortaOne, this is completely new. So we had to obviously create our documentation and share details about how we do things, but we still managed to, in only a few months' time, to get 5 apps onboarded. And obviously, needless to say, at this stage, we have these 5 or support for these 5 Snom devices. But obviously now that the first 5 are done, it will be much, much quicker for Mark and his team to contribute the other ones as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Conference phones and DECT phones, yeah.
Perfect. Yes. So we've started obviously with the desk phones. We can add more models to it if requested, and then we will continue with probably DECT devices, multi-cell DECT systems, and add them to this portal as well.
Excellent. Thanks, Mark. So I'd like to take this opportunity now to see if there might be a few questions from those of you who have attended here. So we have our Q&A section on the screen in the Zoom app. So you should be able to answer any questions that you might have. So I'll give it a few minutes here to see if there's any questions. Obviously, in the meantime, while you might be submitting some questions, just want to mention that, of course, we will have a recording of our today's sessions, or for maybe colleagues of yours or team members that didn't have a chance to attend. We'll have a recording that we're going to publish next week. We'll share it with our friends over at Snom, obviously, as well, so you can share it in your channel too. And yeah, and obviously for follow-up, so I'm not sure we're getting any questions, which is, I suppose, good. You know, we've been clear enough about what's been available, and that's fair enough. You know, if there's no specific questions here, that's perfectly fine. We obviously have, in terms of if you do think of questions afterwards, our channels to follow up with Snom and with PortaOne. One thing that I want to mention here is, if you have a chance, check out our interview that our CEO André did recently with Telecom TV. So you can go to telecomtv.com and learn what we feel is the real meaning of digital transformation. So just a brief side note here. So if you're interested, You can also go actually to our YouTube channel and subscribe there. So we have a bit of a teaser video on our YouTube channel as well for the same interview that Andli did. And of course, as always, please do reach out to both Snom on their Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or directly on their website, snom.com. And if you have any questions in regards to the actual delivery mechanism, iPaaS, and what it means to you and how it benefits, please reach out to us at sales@PortaOne.com.
I just see a chat message, Klaus. Question is where they can contact or get contact info to Snom to learn more about the partner program. So the website of the partner program is partner.snom.com, or just go to snom.com and you will find your way through over our general website. We also have all our contacts to the different sales clusters worldwide there. So you should be able to find an email address or a telephone number to contact us.
Great. Thanks for Mark for noticing that. I didn't quite notice that. So thanks much for seeing that. All right. So if there's no additional questions here in this late stage of the session, very much want to say thanks to Mark and Ian for joining me.
Thank you.
And thanks for everyone who attended. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Cheers.
Bye-bye.